thank you for sending us all your questions. We are very excited to answer them for you. So without further ado,
Question 1 from Rue Beetle. How do you sex a praying mantis? There's a few different ways actually. The easiest thing to do is wait till they're adults. And typically male praying mantises will have smaller bodies, longer wings, and significantly longer antenna, so that will help them sniff out a girlfriend. Females will typically have more robust bodies for making big ootheca, shorter antenna and shorter wings that either cover just half of their abdomen or just to the edge of their abdomen. Whereas males' wings will often go past the end of their abdomen to give them more flight capabilities. Otherwise, the far more scientific way of sexing them even before adulthood is counting the abdominal segments, which is a huge pain in the butt. Some praying mantises are fairly easy, like orchid mantises. They've got this cool little colored collar just underneath their head. Green ones are males and brown ones are females, is I think what it was. Could have that backwards, but I'm pretty sure that was it. So some of them are fairly obvious, some of them not so much. Especially with the larger green ones, they're like just all green. It's good times. Are the buggos self-aware?
well, we don't know. It's kind of hard to talk to an insect, bug, insect, whatever you want to classify them as. There has been research done on whether or not they can feel pain or whether they remember pain, but whether or not they're completely self-aware, it's kind of up in the air. If you want to do some research on it, let us know the results. A nice peer-reviewed article would be nice. I'll give it a read. But other than that, not too sure.
Any idea where one can order caterpillars? No. I get some local species of Saturnidae moths from a breeder out in PEI. I don't think you actually need to have a permit to have those because they're local. But they usually go pretty fast as he doesn't have a huge amount of them. And usually I get them in the form of either cocoons or eggs in the springtime. But the thing about these guys is they eat a lot and they don't live a long time. All of the Saturnidae moths are extremely short-lived once they become adults, as they don't have a mouth. So, yeah, they just, 5, maybe 10 days tops. If you feel like looking on the Googles for breeders and stuff in Canada, I would be happy to promote that to other people, so that those of you who want to, help with pollinators and whatnot can do so. We don't really have a ton of monarchs on the island, so that's not really a thing for us here because we don't really have a lot of milkweed. We're not really part of their migration cycle. So no monarchs, but we do have things like the tiger swallowtails, the Saturnidaes, the sphinx moths, some really big and beautiful moths that absolutely would be pollinators, just not so much the Saturnidae. Because again, they don't have mouths, they don't pollinate.
R.I.P.
What is the most venomous animal in the zoo?
Well, probably our black widow. Do we still have a brown recluse?
Yeah.
So maybe brown recluse?
It's a different kind of venom
That's
though.
true.
Because black widows have the neurotoxic venom.
Right. So it'll hurt.
Which is, it hurts, it sucks, but you won't die. At least not from the Canadian black widow.
Yeah.
Right?
But then I guess the brown recluse, if you get bit and it gets bad, then
If it gets bad, that
It
sucks. Nobody likes necrotic lesions of their body.
No, that's not a good time.
Not a good time. We had a beautiful centipede. Unfortunately, Ruby recently passed away.
Yeah.
And her venom, I would say, while not deadly, is probably the most painful
Yeah.
out of all the animals we have.
Before she passed away, I probably would have marked her as the most venomous.
The most venomous. Because
Yeah.
they have around 60 different neurotoxins in their venom, and we understand maybe half a dozen of them. And then we do have a couple of bark scorpion species that, again, if you had a bad reaction to it and couldn't get to a hospital, you could potentially die from. What bugs live the longest?
In the zoo? Or in general? I mean, it also, I guess, depends on what you call a bug.
Not exactly a super scientific term.
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, like, if you're talking, like, all things with exoskeletons, then probably tarantulas. They can live a very long time.
Lobsters?
Yeah. Oh, lobsters can live a really long time. Yeah. How long can they live? Like,
Really long time.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a couple that are over 100 years old.
that would be wild.
If we're just talking land invertebrates, land arthropods, we're just talking land arthropods, then probably tarantulas.
Yeah, definitely tarantulas.
Yeah. For insects, probably ant queens.
Oh yeah, yeah, like our ant queen here. We have a leafcutter ant here. Well, we have 2 leafcutter ant colonies, and they can live around 15 years. Just the queen, though. None of her sweet babes. Unfortunately, they die very quickly compared to her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there are some ant queens out there that can live even longer than that, but they're definitely one of the top. Where do you buy the majority of your phasmids? Colubrids 101. Good question. Most of our phasmids, actually, we've been breeding here for generations now. Every once in a while, I will spruce up the populations by bringing in females and males from other people around the world just to spruce up their genetics, make sure they're healthy. Yeah, I've got breeders in Malaysia, Taiwan, Australia, the US, Europe. They come from all over the place, yeah, but every single one of those places that we get them from, and to get them into Canada, you need to have permits. So walking sticks, phasmids as pets in Canada isn't legal unless you are an educational facility or a zoo or a research facility.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Canada is very, very strict on this. So,
or fortunately.
or fortunately, yeah. we don't need a whole bunch of phasmids getting
No.
loose and decimating all our apple orchards and vineyards, and
Yeah.
we need our cider and wine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so phasmids, if you didn't already know, phasmids include like stick insects, leaf insects, all of those kinds of things, right? So
Leaf eaters.
Yeah, they like to eat leaves, and they really don't care what kind of leaves for the most part, unlike some insects that have, particular tastes. We feed ours just bramble, so you can imagine, we change out bramble every single day for majority of our tanks. So they eat a lot, which means they could decimate a large area pretty quickly.
How did the zoo come into existence? I can actually answer that one. Yeah. So the zoo is the brainchild of Carol Meyer, who has a passion for teaching people about invertebrates and how they're so misunderstood because of things like media, movies and stuff. They really give them a bad rap. So she wanted to open up a zoo where people could get a chance to interact with these animals in a safe environment and learn why they're not scary, why they're beautiful, why they have important roles in the environment. So she had run this zoo for a good 15 years and then sold it. Now there's new owners, which is, it's neither bad nor good. It's great, it's
good
fresh
that you can keep
fresh
going.
blood into the pool, brings in new ideas, new creativities, and gives us a chance to potentially expand more in the future. We're always looking for new chances to expand and do new things, like why we've got the outreach program now, where we go to schools and talk about cool critters and bring them into the awesome kids there.
Yeah, so if you are interested in any kind of outreach, you're welcome to email me You can email bugs@Victoriabugzoo.ca, and we'll put that somewhere in the description or whatever. You'll figure it out. But we're thinking of maybe even offering virtual tours for classrooms through Zoom. We just want, we want to be able to keep y'all,
Entertained
during this
and
time.
educated.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many people work at the zoo right now? It's just
Well, 4 including Todd.
yeah, well, if you count Todd, he doesn't really do much work though.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
He's literally sleeping right now.
Regularly though, about like 10.
10 to 15,
Yeah.
depending on what season it is.
Yeah. During the winter, more like 10. During the summer, well, maybe not this summer.
Yeah.
Normal summers.
Normal summers.
Maybe
Yeah.
like 15-ish.
Yeah.
Mostly everyone is part-time because, it's hard to be in a room full of people, in a hot room full of people for an extended amount of time.
I like this question. Have any employees been bit by any of your bugs while feeding them or cleaning cages? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pinched, bit, stung. Well, mostly just me for stung, because it's my job to assess new scorpions and things when we get them to see whether or not they will be
Feisty.
docile enough for handling and education trips. So I've been tagged a couple times, but never actually envenomated.
That's good.
Yeah. Usually they just use their tail to kind of push you away and whap at you, but
Yeah.
they rarely actually envenomate the first time and get spooked. So I've been bit by walking sticks. I've been bit by beetles. The thing about being bit by a walking stick is it doesn't really do anything. Like if you were to take your 2 fingernails and very gently pinch like that's about it. Oh, the worst one for me is the soldier ant.
Oh yeah, we've been bit. I've never been bit by a soldier ant. Those are the ones with the really big mandibles, right?
Big mandibles.
Really big.
Yeah.
The ones that you can use as sutures if you're in a pinch. Thank you.
When I was bit by a soldier ant, she did quite easily cut through my skin and make me bleed. And then, of course, did not let go.
Right.
So
Great.
that was fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've only been bit by a forager ant.
Yeah. And those are definitely not pleasant.
No.
It's quite
Not great.
uncomfortable.
It bit my neck and it freaked me out.
That would scare the bejesus out of me. Actually, they have a knack for going in the soft parts
Yeah,
there.
they like the soft skin.
Yeah, and then on the back of the hand. Oh man, it is.
Okay.
If you've never been chewed on by 20 things at once, you should give it a shot sometime.
It's great. Yeah.
I actually probably have a lot of people I've come in here who when I was a kid, I accidentally stepped on a fire ant colony.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. My dad threw me into the ocean afterwards. So,
Good
which
times.
helped. It helped.
Yeah, ants not fans of water all the time. Actually, fire ants are very good at floating.
Oh. Well,
They make bridges and boats. Did you not know
I
that?
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, fire ants make boats to float on when things flood.
We don't like that. We don't like that.
Big boy splash.
When is your Eureka gonna hatch? Don't know.
I don't know. Most of the ones from the first batch have started hatching,
Yeah.
so
If you live in a cold place, though, of course, it's gonna take a bit longer.
Yeah.
If you live in a very warm place, like the zoo, which is 25 plus all the time,
all the time.
then it's gonna hatch probably last week. But if you don't, and you live in maybe a basement suite with really bad heating, then it's probably gonna take a lot longer. So maybe at the end of May, hopefully sooner though, because we have gotten news that almost everyone's has hatched so far. So,
Yeah.
just gotta be patient.
More fruit fly cultures on the way, of both varieties. So a lot of you whose cultures whose Eutheca have already hatched, they're probably getting close to outgrowing the melanogaster fruit flies. In which case we have the Hadae as well, which will last them for a little while longer before you have to move on to crickets.
Yeah, and if you aren't able, to get the larger fruit flies in time, you can always check with your local pet stores, see if
Yeah.
they have them, or even pinhead crickets.
Yeah.
Some places might
Pinheads
have
to
those.
1 week crickets are usually pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last one. What was the first bug at the bug zoo? Which one is the most popular? Dude, that was 20 something years ago. I
Don't know.
was not working then.
No. my
And
God.
I've been here the longest.
Say
so.
I wasn't alive then, but oh gosh, I was definitely alive.
Yes, you were alive. Pinky, yeah, she was the Brazilian salmon pink before Rexy.
Aw.
Yeah, she was around a long time. And Nora, they were both around a really long time. Those are a couple of like super old tarantulas that we had that were here since the beginning, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Well, Helga's almost 15 though. She came later. She was adopted, right?
yeah. Helga was adopted. Same with a bunch of our tarantulas actually now.
Helga is a Goliath
Yeah,
tarantula.
a burgundy Goliath. Yeah,
She's a big girl.
a very big girl.
She finally used her hidey hole though, which we're very proud of.
Yeah,
Very
she's finally migrated into using her actual tunnel that we built her. Yeah, so we're very proud of her.
As her most popular, probably, I feel like praying mantids are really popular.
Yeah, people love the praying mantises.
Yeah, and the
Can't blame
ants.
them. The ants are popular.
Is it cockroach?
And then of course the tarantulas. People fall in love with the tarantulas because
They're
they're
so
so
cute.
beautiful
Yeah.
and sweet. And it's kind of a big deal when people come in and they overcome their fears and then they form kind of like a little special bond with that
Yeah.
tarantula that they overcame their fears with. So our teas are pretty special.
They're very cute.
And they're super cute and fuzzy and adorable and we love them. It's hard not to. I mean, they live such a long time. It's it's pretty great.
Yeah, well, that was it for all the questions. If you have any more, feel free to send us some. We are more than happy to. Were there more questions? Yeah. We are. We're more than happy to answer them through our Facebook or Instagram, or if you want to email us again, bugs@Victoriabugzoo.ca. Either Jamie or I will answer them. And don't forget to check out our online site. So if you go to Victoriabugzoo at, oh my gosh, I can't speak, Victoriabugzoo.ca, then you can go to our online store. There is a little button on the header on the right, I guess this side for you, on the right hand side. Then you can click that. It says shop, all caps, and you go to online store. You can check out all the stuff we have on there. It's pretty neat. We're trying to put up new things every week. And
Especially when you wonderful people actually request them. That very much helps us decide what we're going to put up that week, which is a priority.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot.
there's a lot.
Lot of stuff.
We have a lot of items in our inventory.
Thank you so much. And we hope you enjoy your day.
Bye!